Welcome back to The Jump. I'm George Sedano in for Rachel Nichols, joined by Brian Windhorst and Matt Barnes. We just ran my essay on Wade, so let's stick to the Heat here. Team president Pat Riley thinks the media is down on his squad, but the Godfather wants his team to know that they can win it all this year. Here's what he told Ira Winderman of the Sun Sentinel. Quote, I haven't heard it from anybody out there. Nobody believes that we can win a championship, the media. And I don't think many of them even believe that we're going to finish high. And I believe our players have more of a belief in what we can do than they do. It's not to use that as motivation, but that's just a reality. Brian, what do you make of Riley's comments?
What is he talking about?
I'm with you.
The Heat, especially at ESPN, we've been on a Heat binge for months now. We've had multiple things, praising how this team has been structured. And we've talked about how
I flew down there with Rachel and Perk.
And we thought the Iguodala trade potentially could make them a challenger to win the East. But I will say this, though. What is reality is that they are 11-12 in their last 23 games. Mm-hmm. They have slid back to the Sixers. The Sixers are now right on top of them for home court advantage. And by the way, we talk about how the Sixers are a home road kind of Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. The Heat are 22-3 at home, and they are 13-17 on the road. I mean, it's not terrible, but it is a problem. They need home court, just like the Sixers do, and their defense has struggled. Now, they have had some injuries for sure. They are missing several key players. Right. That said, they've got to pick it up, regardless of what game Pat wants to play in the media. And Eric Spoelstra knows that. He was extremely disappointed in their loss last night in in Atlanta. They totally let that game fall through their fingers, even though Bam Adebayo played great. And the Heat have to worry about their own selves right now besides perception.
Matt, let me ask you this. As far as adding some of those new pieces, Crowder, Iguodala, veteran-type guys, but my guess is that'll take a little while to get some chemistry there, right?
It'll take a couple weeks, but those are both smart veteran guys. Iguodala's experience on and off the court is really going to help that team. And it's just going to take a couple weeks. But they're definitely going to be a scary out regardless what their seeding is. Like you said, playoffs is a whole other monster. And they have experience now, mixed with a great group of young guys. So whether they can win it all or not, Pat Riley's supposed to say that. They're supposed to believe that, but we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But they're going to be a tough out regardless.
Yeah, I think, Brian, to me, going into the season, if they were a second-round team, I thought that was a big step considering where they were. Sure. Could they...
Even if they got second round now, I'd be really happy with their season.
Yeah. Look, they'd need a lot of luck, I think, to get in anything beyond that. Is that fair to say?
I think one of the things that they have developing right now is their defense is struggling, and they are the premium three-point shooting team in the league. Like almost nobody does it better. When they put out their best defensive players, their shooting goes down. When they put out their best shooters, their defense goes down. So finding Andre Iguodala, frankly, is not a good three-point shooter. Now he could all of a sudden go up, but that is a big challenge for Eric Spoelstra coming down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, Jay Crowder came in, wasn't shooting the three ball very well, like under 30%, if I recall correctly. And then his first week on the team, he shot 60% from three. That wasn't necessarily what you can expect moving forward, but he's played pretty well for them at this point, at least. All right, let's check out who was in the zone, brought to you by AutoZone, and none other than Trae Young.
He was, man.
Man, he was in the zone last night, dropping a career-high 50 points in a win over Miami. This was a bit of a revenge game for Trae as he suffered a bit of an embarrassing loss to the Heat back on December 10th. Young proclaimed, quote, game over late in the fourth quarter of that game, just before the Heat rallied to win in overtime. Jimmy Butler posted a clip to Instagram with the caption, this man at Trae Young is a teller of the future. He was right. Game was over. So after the 50-piece last night, Trae Young remembered that and tweeted this. And FYI at Jimmy Butler was right. I can see the future. I saw tonight happening a while ago. Hashtag, and I don't even like Twitter beefs, but. So, Matt, do you think Trae will live to regret this one with Jimmy?
No, not at all. I think it's all fun and games. I think the fans love it. The crowd loves it. We're talking about it now. But he's a special talent.
Oh, yeah.
And Jimmy's always going to remember that. So that's going to be brought up when something happens down the line. But I don't think it's, it wasn't anything that's derogatory or vicious. They're just having fun. But Trae Young has a lot of confidence coming out of the All-Star game. Like we spoke yesterday when Brian said it was big for Embiid to get that confidence in the All-Star game. Trae Young's playing with the same type of confidence. First time All-Star voted, man. People doubted him. He's coming out and letting people know they made a mistake for doubting him being a starter.
Jimmy was not good in the second half of that game last night. And it was really, both those games were actually similar because I thought the Heat had that game won last night. They just totally let it go. I thought the Hawks had that game won in Miami. Again, Miami is very different home and road. I would love the Heat and the Hawks to become rivals in that division going forward. I would love this to be the foundation of something bigger.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting with Trae, though. We have that stat real plus minus here at ESPN, and he's like at the top of the list on offense. He's first, and he's at the bottom of the list on defense among 490 players this season. We've never seen a gap like this.
Yeah, people used to say that this was a problem with Steph Curry, that he was all offense and no defense. But actually, Steph is a significantly better defender, and he's got better size than Trae. I mean, one of the challenges when you have building around Trae Young is when you think about what players to bring into that team, you're going to have the other guard be a defender. And you're not going to be able to have any other undersized players at any other position because you become a matchup problem. You can win with a player like that. There have been plenty of Hall of Famers who didn't play defense.
Right.
But this does challenge both how you build the team and the strategy that you have in individual games.
Matt, could he be your best player?
He could be your best offensive player. Going into the playoffs, size matters.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've seen some small guys do it. The Allen Iversons. Steph Curry's not huge, but they've been able to do it. But like you said, you're gonna need a 2-and-D guy instead of a 3-and-D guy to play alongside of him to take all those matchups. That's why, Clay is so underrated to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because although Steph does play defense, Clay takes that best player every single night. They need someone like that that can still shoot the ball, but also take the best wing player, and they don't have
Trae
that.
hasn't played in too many consequential games,
right.
But the first time he does, in the fourth quarter,
They're targeting him.
Hunting
Oh, yeah. They're going to
every
find him
possession.
every single day.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what they're hoping DeAndre Hunter turns into, right? Like he becomes the guy who's the defensive specialist.
That's why they went to move up to get him.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.